1998's Blade.
Yes.
Starring Wesley Snipes, directed by Stephen Norrington, and also starring Stephen Dorff and Kris Kristopherson. Yeah.
Yes.
So just initial thoughts of Blade. I mean, we've seen this movie 100 times, probably. I mean, this movie initially is just like part of our history.
Our culture.
Yeah, it's 90s culture on full display with Blade. Blade is the 1990s incarnate.
I think this started the leather techno.
I'm going to say this. Matrix stole from Blade.
Oh, yeah.
And Blade is more influential on future movies than anybody gives it credit for. Like the whole slow-mo bullet time. Granted, that came from probably the Max Payne game. But slow-mo bullet times in this movie. The leather clothing. The 1990s feel to this movie.
The kung fu integrated.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes is a fantastic martial artist.
Blade was before Matrix, so I mean, this movie does not get enough credit for.
It really doesn't.
What it
also gets
started.
Maybe too much credit because CG is fucking
the
awful
CG
in this movie.
This is during the era of we can do this on a computer.
This is 1998.
So we can do this on a computer, so it's going to look cool, and people are going to think it's real.
Yeah.
And that's not the case.
Like we watched your DVD, and I was happy we watched your DVD because I feel like watching anything above 480p is a bad idea.
What do you think this would look like in 4K?
No. I don't want to see this in 4K. And it's probably got a 4K release, or at least on Hulu. It's on Hulu if you want to watch Blade. If you've never seen Blade, see Blade.
Watch the DVD, or if you have a VHS.
Yeah, watch a VHS, because that's going to look even better.
Yeah. Because the technology that they used in this was VHS technology.
It's mediocre at best. Yeah.
No, in the actual movie.
We're 5 years past Jurassic Park. I've told you, Jurassic Park is my CG deadline that I need. Yeah. And if your CG is not as good as Jurassic Park, you have failed past 1993.
What's the saying? The best CG is the CG that you don't know that's there.
Yeah, you don't need to know it's there.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of CG that you know that's there.
Yeah, it's real
Blade,
bad. Yeah. It's cartoonish almost. So Blade is the story. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Get to the...
Okay. Blade is the story of the vampire hunter Blade from the comic books. I guess we start probably later in the comic books, you were saying. The comic books start earlier when he was a teenager, give or take. So Blade is a vampire hunter. He is a half vampire, half human daywalker, is what they call him. They call him the daywalker. The movie opens with Tracy Lords taking David Lemansky from The Shield. I don't know his real name.
Poor man's Andy Rourke.
Yeah, for sure.
Back in 9.5 weeks.
Down to a party in a meat factory where it's clearly a vampire party, and they call it the Bloodbath.
I mean,
and we got Prodigy playing in the background.
Would you ever go to a party in a meat factory?
Seems like a bad idea.
Where there's hooks hanging from the ceiling.
A bad idea.
Yeah.
You cannot trust.
In college, though, I'd probably go.
You probably would. Yeah. I wouldn't have because I was a dork. But
I was a dork too, but I was just very susceptible to
peer pressure. So Blade opens in this meat factory. This guy is walking through the party. He's not a vampire, and he slowly discovers that he's surrounded by vampires having a bloodbath party, which is not revealed until the lights kick on and blood starts spraying from the ceiling. You made a good point.
And the banner.
Why waste all the blood?
Yeah, I mean that's their main source.
Is it cow blood? I mean, is it cow blood, or are we doing pig blood? Maybe they don't want that really, but. Like, he's sitting there in the party, and all the vampires start coming out. He's freaking out, and he crawls out of the party and runs into a black boot, and it's Blade, played by Wesley Snipes.
One of the best superhero reveals, period.
I mean, Marvel movie. This started the Marvel movie generation, in my opinion.
This was the best Marvel movie to date.
to 1998. Yeah. Oh, I mean, we didn't have a lot of competition. We had Captain America from 1990, which Abel Ferrara directed that.
You had the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, from Roger Corman's Fantastic Four. Nobody wanted that. I mean, they didn't release that.
Yeah, there was a lot of not so good Marvel.
Yeah.
But this wasn't recognized.
Marvel was also pretty much bankrupt at that point, so it was easy to get this license.
Right.
But they cast Wesley Snipes as the vampire hunter, and this opening party, he is just destroying. He is amazing. His martial arts skill is amazing. And Donald Logue plays Quinn, one of the main vampires in the movie. Wesley Snipes has clearly had interaction with him before, and tortures him somewhat.
Yeah. Thought he'd try fire.
Yeah, I thought he'd try fire. He sets him on fire. Which, hilariously enough, actually sets up a lot of the rest of the movie because he didn't kill him. He just set him on fire. The real police came. He only set him on fire. And Quinn goes to the hospital as a burnt body and ends up, like, waking up and killing two people. Well, trying to kill two people. Doesn't kill either one of them, ultimately, in the end of it. But he bites this hematologist doctor, and Blade is out there looking for a man called Deacon Frost, who is the main vampire he believes is the problem with vampires. He's going to go after him. Kris Kristopherson plays his, like, weapons man, I guess is what we really get out of that. And, like, his father figure.
His father figure. He's the one that found him.
Yeah, he found him when he was 13, is what he says.
Yeah, on the streets.
He was eating homeless people when he was 13.
Trying to survive, so.
But he's a daywalker.
And that's true of the comic.
Blade's mother was bitten when she was pregnant. It shows this in the movie. Yeah. And Blade was born as half vampire, half man, essentially. So he can walk in the day. He has all the strengths of the vampires, but none of the weaknesses except for the blood. The bloodthirst.
The thirst.
Basically.
Right.
So he is on a quest to destroy vampires. That's his job. He does a good job of it. He's a great martial artist. He discovers that Deacon Frost...
I even brought up to you. I was like, man, I wish I could fight like that and just like walk into like a white supremacist party and just start kicking ass like that.
Yeah, it'd be nice. It would be nice.
Or any kind of hate group like that. It'd be fun.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, this is a tough plot to describe because there's not a lot of plot to it. It's really like Blade wants to take down Deacon Frost. Deacon Frost wants to capture Blade,
but there's a little twist in there.
A little slight twist. Yeah.
So you really don't see that.
So we're working towards Blade trying to capture Deacon Frost. Deacon Frost trying to take over the Vampire Council, which is made up of a bunch of crusty old white and Asian men, essentially, including Orson Welles.
Yeah, Orson Welles in it.
Yeah, looks like Orson Welles, very much so. So Deacon Frost is studying the Vampire Bible. Blade discovers this
book of. Not Anubis. I keep wanting to say
Anubis. It's not Anubis, but it's like something like that.
Erebus.
Yeah. And he discovers that they're trying to bring back La Magra, who is the blood god, the vampire to end all vampires. So Deacon Frost's goal is to take over the Vampire Council. He kills Udo Kier, ultimately, to take over the Vampire Council, and then brings all the Vampire Council to, when he captures Blade, brings the Vampire Council to essentially create the blood god.
Yeah, to this temple.
Yeah. Really, I'm skipping a whole lot, but none of it matters.
No.
There's the big fat vampire named Pearl that I thought was a woman, but is actually a man.
The records keeper.
It's just Blade doing his investigation to try and find Deacon Frost.
Yeah. Figures out what the blood god is.
Yeah, they figure out what that is, and then they walk kind of right into a trap for the blood god. Deacon Frost brings Blade in there for the blood god ceremony. Meanwhile, the doctor that was bit earlier has befriended Blade, and she's becoming a vampire, and Blade is trying to keep that from happening, and she's trying to discover a cure to vampirism. Yeah. And discovers actually something that destroys vampires by like exploding their cells.
Yeah, which
comes
brings
into play.
Us to one of the best parts of the movie is when Blade is going to find Deacon Frost, and you got a little bit of a, Big Trouble in Little China hallway scene there.
You do.
Oh my
With
gosh.
some swelling,
How
exploding heads.
reminiscent of Big Trouble in Little China was that.
It's like Chinese architecture too, so that adds to it. That definitely adds
was
to
right
it.
back in that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty funny in that regard.
Yeah.
But so really, it's hard to explain this plot because there's not much of one in this movie. It's just like
Blade
killing vampires.
Blade going to rid the world of vampires.
Yeah, so ultimately Deacon Frost and Blade meet in a park, and Deacon Frost says, "Hey, why don't you join us? You can make us all your way." And Blade's like, "No way!" And there's like a little Asian girl that gets thrown through a plate glass window or something like that. But the biggest
she survived.
Yeah, she's fine. She's
any
fine.
wounds.
She's gonna move on. Move on.
Yeah.
So the big part of this movie is the final 15 minutes.
There's not much plot.
Yeah, there's not much plot. The final 15 minutes, Blade is captured, and they use him to create the Blood God along with like 11 the Vampire Council to create the Blood God.
They use his mom to capture.
They do. His mom is still alive.
Yeah, they kept his mom alive.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this, it's over 20 years old. So
it is 24 years old.
It'll be 25 years
Which feels terrible when I think about it because,
Oh my gosh.
That means I'm 42 years old at this point.
This guy is so old.
He'll be 42 in June. Don't let him joke.
He's still older than me. But yeah. So, they use his mom to capture him.
Who he thought was dead.
Yeah. So you don't get her until the last,
like
20 minutes.
Which is kind of silly because you think they would have used her before then.
So,
but they kill Whistler, Kris Kristopherson character.
Say that 10 times.
Kill Whistler.
Yeah.
Because Blade 2 might change that a bit.
Oh.
Yeah, which Blade 2 is great.
Yeah.
So Blade has to... He creates the Blood God with his blood, and then the doctor saves him, and he feeds on her to get his strength back and goes on to take on Deacon Frost. Deacon Frost has become the Blood God, but although I think he's only become somewhat the Blood God because that one gal killed the one guy.
Yeah.
I think there's a weakness there.
Yeah.
I think there's a weakness there. So Blade takes him on, and this
honestly, none of this third act really makes a lot of sense.
No, none at all.
It's all just action.
It doesn't matter. It's
nonsense.
Good. It's good stuff.
It's fun. Yeah. It's fun to watch Wesley Snipes just kick ass.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just like 15 minutes of Wesley Snipes taking out people.
Yeah.
And then
with
facing off with Deacon Frost. With techno
music.
sound. Like the first scene of it, I was like, this is the 90s encapsulated in one scene.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole dance club.
Yep, that's it. It's Prodigy playing too.
Yeah, Prodigy.
It's Prodigy.
Yeah.
So Wesley Snipes take on Deacon Frost, and this serum, this anticoagulant that the doctor discovered destroys vampire cells. Which there's no indication of how she discovered that.
Yeah.
But that's what he has in these darts, and he recovers these darts and kicks them into Deacon Frost, and we get the greatest line in the history of cinema. Feel free.
Some motherfuckers always gotta ice skate uphill.
Fuck yes.
We rewind it.
We rewound twice it because we missed it
because
first time.
We missed it, yeah. And then one of us had to use the bathroom, and so
we watched it.
We're like,
Some motherfuckers
this is the whole reason we watched the movie.
That is the best line.
Best
of all time.
Worst line.
Yeah, Wesley Snipes is a god because of that line. Yeah. If I met Wesley Snipes, I'd be like, hey, can you do the line from the end of Blade?
Yeah.
And I would be like, can you put it on my voicemail?
Motherfucker, you out of your damn mind. No, not that one.
I'd be like, that's good too.
That's another good one. Yeah.
Yeah. But I need the ice skate one better.
Oh God.
So yeah. So
yeah, of course there's certain quotes that stick out in your mind from movies. And this one,
we say that one all the time.
Yeah, oh yeah. I say that on, when we're on the headset on, Call of Duty, or whatever, PUBG or Halo,
Mostly Call of Duty these days.
Mostly Call of Duty, yeah. But yeah, that is one of my favorite lines because it's so
good. So good.
So good.
And the CGI gets real dodgy in this last couple scenes. Thankfully, they didn't go with the original ending.
Oh,
because if you watch the special features, the CGI on that one is fucking terrible.
Even worse.
It's even worse. And I'm not sure how it can be worse, but it is.
Oh.
But the ending, he kills Deacon Frost, of course, and goes on to hunt more vampires. There's really no benefit from killing Deacon Frost other than stopping the blood god.
At least the end of this movie kind of connects with the second movie.
Yeah. He's killing the Russian at the end.
Yeah,
you were in the bathroom at that point, but I'm sure you remember that.
Yeah. So, Blade 1.
Doverish.
Yes. And then the second one is all I consider in the Blade franchise.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Blade 3, and we'll see how the new Blade works out if it ever actually gets made with Mahershala Ali.
Yeah. Got a good cast there.
Yeah.
Cast for Blade. So.
Yeah. So that is the Blade review. So where do you rate Blade on the 5-star scale? It's tough. It's tough.
I mean, for the type of movie genre, okay, we got to go to the comic book genre.
Right? Need to go there.
Do we go on like a Marvel scale? Pre-Marvel?
I'm not. I'm just rating on a standard scale.
Pre-Marvel. You know. I'll give it a 4. Give it a solid 4. I would give it higher if it wasn't for a terrible third act. The third act is just like, it's laughable. But the first, leading up to that, it's a pretty good time.
Yeah.
And then it just gets goofy.
It's good. It's a little goofy in the first third, but
that last 30 minutes gets real good.
It's real goofy.
Yeah.
I'm in a 3.5. Because I love this movie, but I just can't go higher than that because it has significant problems.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt it has significant problems, but that's where I'm at. 3.5.
It led into
Blade 2,
the Matrix era.
And the Matrix era.
All the leather, karate era
I know
of the
Kung Fu.
90s. Yeah, 90s into the early 2000s. So that Blade started it.
Yep, I agree.
It's your fault, Blade.
3.5, 4. That is Blade.
Yep. 3.